Coming up today here on the Raiders Report, the latest around the quarterback battle from Antonio Pierce when he expects to name a starting quarterback. Is Gardner Minshew going to start against the Cowboys? There's a report that you need to see, and then a new and juicy Aidan O'Connell rumor around him starting. Some conflicting reports out there. That's all coming up here today on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And if you don't know, the quarterback debacle, the quarterback smokescreen season, the rumors around this QB battle continue to ramp up because both Aidan O'Connell and Gardner Minshew played well against the Minnesota Vikings, which puts us in this spot of who the heck is going to be the Raiders starting quarterback? Now, Paul Gutierrez had an interesting tweet. This was yesterday that said, Antonio Pierce said the goal was to name a starting quarterback after next week's exhibition versus the Cowboys. We've got to get ready to play football, and I think we've got enough film. We have 2 games by then to evaluate both quarterbacks. One of the things that I love that Antonio Pierce, the Raiders have done, and I made a video back July 15th about the Raiders quarterback plan and how they were going to operate this plan going into the preseason, handle it in training camp, and it's been exactly as AP, Telesco, the Raiders, it has been exactly what they've wanted to do. And Antonio Pierce also had this to say on the Raiders QB battle. Just like I said last night, Aidan had 9 attempts there. Gardner had 12. Obviously, you like those numbers to be equal, but they weren't. But I thought both guys were efficient. I thought there were some opportunities that Minshew made down the field that were really good. But I thought both quarterbacks, obviously, when it's a clean pocket, man, you can see what this offense could be with both those guys. But I thought they did a really good job of the operations. We did have one delay a game with Gardner that we need to clean up. But I thought Aidan did a really good job from being backed up, down in the red zone, and Gardner in the 2-minute drill. Everything we wanted to get out of preseason 1, we got. So think about that last sentence right there by Antonio Pierce. Everything that we got out of that first preseason game, we wanted. So to me, I expect to AP stick to his quarterback plan, which is going to be around Gardner Minshew, Aidan O'Connell. And if AP is pleased with the preseason brand so far, then you're going to expect him to just go, okay, this is what we thought was going to happen. And now we're going to stick to that in the Cowboys game. So for a lot of the people that watched my July video that I did with my whole QB plan, you might be seeing some of this for the second time. But before I get into all of that and before I tell you who I think is going to be starting against Dallas, if you don't know, we are in a sub-battle this week against the Cowboys Report. The 2 channels that really got Chat Sports up and running as a company. My guy Tom does a great job. But as far as I'm concerned, we're going up against the Cowboys this week. My fiance is a Cowboys fan. Her family's Cowboys fans. Chugs and I live down here in Dallas. This is a battle we cannot afford to lose. So if you bleed silver and black, and if you think that Raider Nation is a better fan base than the Cowboys fans, hit that sub button, and let's win this sub battle this week. So is Gardner Minshew going to be the starting quarterback against the Dallas Cowboys? Back on my QB plan video on July 15th, I said that Aidan O'Connell is going to start against the Vikings, and then I believe that Minshew is going to go and be the starter up against Dallas. According to Hondo Carpenter, he said on his podcast earlier this week that he expects Gardner Minshew to start. Now, when you listen to Hondo's show and, go watch it, go check it out, kind of talks about how both quarterbacks look good and how if anybody out there thinks that they already know how this QB battle is shaken up, there's still too many unknowns and there's still so much that AP wants to see in the second preseason game. And in the second preseason game is also going to have Devontae Adams in it, which is a very important one. But AP obviously hopes to name that starter after week 2. But the fact that everything went exactly how he planned it to go in the first preseason game, and now you still got a neck-and-neck battle. Yeah, I think based on reports, Gardner's looked better in training camp. But AOC also did a hell of a job in that first preseason game. And as far as I'm concerned, what you do in the actual games means a lot more than, what you do in training camp. So this is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. In my overreaction video that I did on Sunday, I said that Gardner Minshew deserves to start against the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe you agree with that. Maybe you disagree with that. Here's your opportunity, though, to let me and the entire nation know. Give me a yes. Give me a no. You're about to get it with the YouTube ad break. My answer is an obviously yes, but I'm also going to tell you a little extra reason why it's a yes. It's a yes because I am somebody that has sat up here and said that I believe Gardner Minshew is going to be the Raiders' starting quarterback when this is all said and done. On top of that, though, if Aidan got the start the first game, then why would you not give Gardner the start in the second game? Minshew, to me, did look good. Yeah, it was a little bit more unconventional, but really when you look at the defenders that both Minshew and Aidan ended up going up against, the players are very similar. Minshew was 6 of 12, 117 in the touchdown, had that nice deep play down to Trey Tucker. But the other reason why I want Gardner and why I said I believe Minshew was just a little bit better than Aidan, who was good. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from Aidan. He had 7 of 9, 76 yards, but it's the little things. And, like, this is how close of a quarterback battle the Raiders are in, where when you go back, you watch the film. When you go back, watch the tape, you could pick apart both things. Now, the false start or the delay of game on Minshew, that's absolutely something that you got to look at. But then there's that other side of it where Raiders are marching, right? Aidan O'Connell, he had to get the ball out quickly on that type of play. Andres Pete absolutely gave up a sack, but Aidan O'Connell gets sacked. Raiders are forced to kick a 56-yard field goal, which luckily they made it. When you look at the Minshew drive, same exact situation, 3rd down and 3, 3rd down and 4. Minshew was able to break containment, pick up that first down with his legs. Next play hits DJ Turner for a touchdown. To me, that little thing right there, that's a big difference and why I believe Minshew was leading this thing, and it's why I would start him. Though, if they go with Aidan again, I think that kind of tells you who they want to start, though, at the quarterback position. Davante Adams, he is back with Las Vegas. He had the birth of his baby boy. Antonio Pierce did say at the beginning of the preseason that he expects every single Raiders player to play in the preseason. Tay's not going to be in the third one, so I anticipate that he's going to be out there. So I do actually really think that whoever starts this second preseason game is the guy that the Raiders are hoping wins the battle. Now, whoever goes out there, they still got to get the job done, but they're going to be running with the ones, with the starting offense against a good Dallas defense who's going to play some of their starters as well with Davante Adams. So, Tay, it's good to have you back. Coming up next here, though, some juicy Raiders rumors on the QB battle. Like I talked about Aidan, right? If Hondo expects Gardner Minshew to start, I expect Gardner Minshew to start this week, and I've said before that it should be Gardner's job to start this upcoming week because Aidan got the reins. But I'll tell you this, there's a beat reporter right now that thinks that Aidan's going to end up being the starting quarterback here for this team. So maybe they won't end up putting him out there against the Dallas Cowboys. I got to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Mando. And if you noticed, I'm not sweating. Why? I love Mando. I love everything that they bring. And I love the fact that they are sponsoring the Raiders Report. So simplify travel with Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It's a 5-ounce bar that does the work of a shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant. You can also use it to create a rich shaving lather. So technically, it's a 5-in-1. It's clinically proven to control odor for 24 hours. Mando's 4-in-1 cleansing bar is formulated with a gentle alpha hydroxy acid that stops odor at the source. Regular soap can't do that because the pH is too high. You can get it also in 3 cologne quality scents, which Mount Fiji, which fresh and woodsy. I'm a big fan of the bourbon leather because it's sweet, sophisticated scent is kind of how I like to think of it. There is the Pro Sport, which is clean and citrusy. Like if I'm going to go to the gym with Alex, recently I've been told that I sweat too much and I stink when I work out next to her. I use the Pro Sport there just because, I sweat literally everywhere. So Nation, take advantage of the special offer. New customers get $5 off Mando's best-selling starter pack with code CHAT at shopmando.com. I like Mando because I can use the deodorant anywhere, and I sweat literally everywhere. I often say, living down here in Texas, I don't even know why the heck I shower because I sweat so bad. So having a full body deodorant is like having like a travel shower on the go. Like there's days I show up here at work and I am sweating. Again, my walk here to work is probably a good 10, 15 minutes. But then I come here, get some of the body deodorant. You can put it on your arms. It might sound weird, but you can. You can literally use it anywhere. So if you want to take advantage of this deal, I got the discount code for you. Those links are going to be available to you all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. Again, shout out to Mando for hooking us up. Code CHAT at shopmando.com. Salute to them. Let's go to Aidan O'Connell here, and we're going to be looking at him as the potential starter because Tashan Reed from The Athletic, he released his brand new 53-man roster projection on Monday. And the reason why that I find it interesting is because of all the rumors, all the speculation around who's going to be that starting quarterback up against the Dallas Cowboys. Also, the QB rumors around who's going to start against the Chargers, obviously. But, like, when you hear AP say, I'd like to be able to name a starting quarterback by the end of the Cowboys game. And I sit back and I go, yeah, I think we all would like to kind of, put an end to these QB rumor battles. But why I found that interesting is because Hondo Carpenter, who covers the Raiders, says that he thinks that Minshew is going to get the start. Then you look at Tashan Reed. He puts out his 53-man roster and has Aidan O'Connell as the starter as if the season were to start today. So I'm just one of those people like, you got to read the tea leaves, and where there's smoke, there's fire type of thing. So the fact that AP said that he wants to name a starter, and then somebody from The Athletic like Tashan, the Monday he's back to work, first thing he puts out is a 53-man and puts Aidan as the starter, that's notable to me. Minshew was listed as the backup with Anthony Brown, Carter Bradley. I think we saw from the preseason the Raiders trust maybe Chugs and I to throw a football more than him since he didn't even get an opportunity. But in terms of what Tashan said on the Raiders QB battle and why he has O'Connell as the starter, this is what he said. O'Connell got the start against the Vikings and performed well, completing 7 of 9 passes for 76 yards on a drive that ended in a field goal. Not to be outdone, Minshew flashed in the second quarter and led the offense to 3 scoring drives. His accuracy was spotty. He completed only 6 of 12 passes, but he created more explosive plays, going 117 yards through the air and through 1 touchdown. Minshew will have every opportunity to steal the job from O'Connell before week 1 of the regular season. So, that's Tashan still telling everybody out there that he believes that Aidan is still the QB1, which I agree with. The show that I did on Sunday was Aidan O'Connell still the QB1 because Ty goes to AOC, which is the way that it's been the entire offseason. But then also, Gardner Minshew deserves to start. Both of those things can absolutely be true. It's not like Aidan has stole the show. It's not like Minshew has totally lost this battle. But one of the things that, I've had a lot of Raider fans ask me, well, Mitch, how do we know what Antonio Pierce wants? How do we know what Luke Getsy's looking for? How do we know who's going to win this QB battle? Because it's got to come down to some finite details, right? So if you go back and you listen to what Antonio Pierce said at halftime of that preseason game, he says 3 things. And coming up here on today's show, I'm going to tell you what AP, I think, is looking for in his quarterbacks to help him decide who's going to be the starter going into the regular season. Before I tell you, this is the last opportunity to join Jeremy Chugs and I, August 14th, 9 p.m. We're going to be at Joel's Chop House located in Las Vegas. We are going to be going to the Raiders practice on that Wednesday. We're going to be having a good time. We'll be there from 5 to 8. As soon as that practice is over, Chugs and I are going to go back to our hotel, get cleaned up, and we are going to meet the nation here at Joel's Chop House. Make a reservation on Open Table. Put in the notes section, Raiders Report for a discount. It is very limited space now. So if you've waited to this moment and you haven't gotten it, I'm telling you right now, today's got to be the last day that you do it because I don't know if they're going to accept reservations tomorrow. So please do it. I hope to see you there. It's the best dinner we've ever had. This link here for Open Table, also in the comments and in the description on today's show. All right, so the 3 things that I think Antonio Pierce is going to be looking for from Gardner, from Aidan O'Connell up against the Dallas Cowboys, and this is based on what AP said at halftime of the Vikings game. The first thing was he wants his quarterbacks to make chunk plays. And when you look at this Raiders offense, there's a lot of good, talented players there. Devontae, Jacoby, Brock Bowers, a lot of ways that you can beat people. But it's so hard to be able to win in the NFL when you're just consistently having to go with these 8, 9, 10, 11 play drives, something that Josh McDaniels really tried to do a lot of. And even though that's kind of the way that I think that this offense is probably going to have to run due to its quarterback play. But one thing that AP is looking for is big chunk plays, which was more advantage Gardner. But, Aidan, I thought, did a little bit better of maybe not putting the ball in harm's way, which is the next thing that Antonio Pierce is going to look for. Take care of the football. When you have a defense the way that the Raiders do, you can't put them in bad field situations. When you have a punter like A.J. Cole, all right, you go 3 and out or whatever, A.J. can still flip the field for you. So taking care of the football is important. I did think Minshew threw 1 hospital ball in that game last week, which put somebody in a little bit of a, forget which receiver. Who? Oh, it was Harrison Bryant. Yeah, and he literally got hurt because of it. So, just putting the ball where it needs to go, especially for a receiver out there like Devontae Adams, because we are trying to avoid injuries. But it's taking care of the football. And then the next thing was the operation in the 2-minute drill. So these were the three things that AP was looking for. And when you look at how much the Raiders at practice and in training camp, the scrimmages, how much operation, how much offense they would do out of the 2-minute drill, I think it really just goes to show that AP wants to play a lot quicker style of offense. Luke Getsy wants to play a lot quicker style of offense than what I anticipated originally on when they brought Getsy in as the offensive coordinator. So, like, here's, I guess, what I'm looking for. I didn't know Jeremy was going to put that graphic on there. I don't even know where the hell you found that. I'm saying everything that AP's looking for, it's important. Now I see why you didn't want to review graphics with me. All right, I got you. AP, I agree with everything that AP's looking for. So I just wanted to be able to add a few extra little nuances in there of how I would also be able to decide who I want to be the Raiders starting quarterback. I want drive extending plays in critical spots. And, you know, you go back to that Minshew play again, 3rd down and 4, instead of him taking a sack, able to use his legs, pick up that first down, following play, 20-yard touchdown strike to DJ Turner. If Aidan O'Connell has a few of those where he gets pressured, manipulates the pocket in the right way, steps up, fires an absolute laser, I need drive extending plays because we got to get around that 21, 24-point number week in and week out. And then the last one is ability to convert in the red zone. I'll be real. I don't know how often the Raiders are going to be able to get to the red zone. Like, I think that they have a really good skill position group. We can say what we want about the quarterbacks, but the quarterback play will be the Achilles heel of this team. But when you get to the red zone, if you're able to convert, and why this is important, I also put this up there as Getsy. This is on you too, because that red zone drive that you had for Aidan O'Connell in that first drive, like I had somebody yell at me, Mitch, we're really going to yell at our OC? Yes, I am going to yell at our OC. Why? Because he didn't draw up the right plays, and he put Aidan kind of in a difficult spot where, you know, if you put better plays out there in the field and Aidan throws a touchdown pass, this might be a very different conversation where Aidan, you obviously want to see him score a touchdown. Gardner, you obviously want to see it, but this red zone play calling, point blank, it needs to be better, and maybe one of our QBs has to switch something up. So here we go. I want y'all to put this on the table right now. Who is going to start week 1 of the NFL season? Tashan Reed in an article said that he believes Aidan O'Connell is going to do it, but he could still obviously lose his job. I am somebody that has said a long time that I believe that Gardner Minshew ends up winning this job. If Gardner goes out there and he plays shitty against the Cowboys and Aidan balls out, it's going to be Aidan's job. If Aidan doesn't play well against Dallas and Gardner goes out there and balls out, it's going to be Gardner's job. If both play bad, if both play good, it's going to be more of a conversation, but it does sound like AP wants to make a decision. The reason why, and I'm just going to continue to stick with my gut here, even though everything is telling me to go with Aidan O'Connell because tie goes to Aidan. And I do wonder, is this going to end up in a tie? But my gut feeling, I just believe that we are a better football team with Gardner Minshew as the starting quarterback. So for that reason, I'm going to continue to say GM, but I don't really give a shit who is the starting quarterback. I will also say this, though. I do think Gardner Minshew as a quarterback that can at least move a little bit is more of a matchup concern for the Chargers and the Ravens compared to the Carolina Panthers. You know what I mean? So, like, Minshew maybe is a reason to go there. I'm rambling. If you want to know when we're also going to be live this week, I'm going to be live tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. Now that we're kind of, getting into the regular season mode, I know it's still preseason. Chugs and I are going to be live Tuesday, Thursday, and then also on game day. For this week, though, because we're going to be out in Vegas for that Raiders practice, no show then, but we're at least going to give you, like, some shorts and some good content there. No live show on Thursday. The next time that you're going to see Jeremy, Chugs, and I live here on the Raiders Report is going to be Saturday up against the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to be in a hell of a battle against our Cowboys Report channel, the channel that's the closest to 200 subs here, so I'm going to need the entire nation to show out. So make sure you guys share this video and make sure we have a awesome crowd ready for Saturday. If I don't see anybody then, guess what? Tomorrow live. Hope to see you there Wednesday. We're good. Oh, wait, actually, one more thing. Hassan Reddick. I'm going to make a video here in a little bit about Hassan Reddick potentially. He asked to be traded. I was like, are we going to that one at all, Chugs? It's all good. This came in from Jordan Schultz, like right before we started getting ready to film. It said, Jets All-Pro pass rusher Hassan Reddick, who is holding out, has informed the team he wants to be traded per multiple sources. I'm going to make a short literally as soon as I get done with this video, so you guys can go check that one out and my 2 cents of why the Raiders should or should not go out and trade for Hassan Reddick.